Wait for people to come in. See if people come in. Again, this is an off-the-cuff live stream because I've just watched a video by Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, Akkad Daily, and it's like, what the hell? What the hell? What am I watching? Right, I'll post a link into the chat, and I'm guessing probably most of you have already seen this, but we're going to go through it. We're going to go through it bit by bit because I've got some major issues with his logic on this one. I'll post the link in the chat. You can go and watch it. But who's already watched it? I was like, what are you talking about, Carl? What are you talking about? I'll wait for some more people to come in, then we'll go through it because it needs to be scrutinized. It really does. Because there are some real flaws in the logic with this one. Hey Andy, how you doing? I think Carl is still one of these people who believes that the system still works, that the system is still working, and he believes that it's not by design everything that's going on in this country. It's just because the Labour Party are incompetent. That's what I get. That's the impression I get from him now. That he's completely oblivious to the fact that they may not be incompetent, that this may be by design, and this is the reason they're doing these things. I'll wait for a few more people to come in. We'll see if we get a few more coming into the live stream, and I'll go through it. Again, this is not me having a go at Sargon of Akkad. This is me just looking at his logic in this argument and disagreeing with it, which is perfectly okay. We can all disagree. This is what free speech and debate is all about. I don't agree with him at all on this one. Normally, most of his videos is like he has some good points, but then he has some not so good points. But this one in particular, yeah, I've got issues with this one. Right, I'm just going to play it. Hey, Mans, how you doing? Cole's bubble always been off. Yeah, he's a little bit off the mark on this one. Let's just say, right. So what we'll do is we'll play a little bit and then we'll refute it.
The logic against immigration in this country is inevitable. It is going to be that whoever is in charge looks at the figures and says, immigration is ruining us. We cannot afford to do this. At the moment, Labour are currently preparing for their budget, and it is quite self-evident that despite all of the tax hikes that they've produced, that we are still in a massive deficit. And
I would go further than that. I would say that Labour's budget is going to absolutely destroy this country. It's going to be absolutely brutal, the budget, because they've got no money. I would go further than Carl on this and say it's going to be absolutely brutal for everybody.
And they still need more money. They still need more of your money. Or, and this is the truly radical part, they could cut the amount of money the government spends. And immigration is actually a really easy win for the Labour government with the British public. As you can see, as I covered the other day, people now...
It's like, what are you talking about here? What are you talking about? It's an easy win for Labour. They don't give a toss about the people in this country. They really don't. If they did, they would be clearing up the streets of all the gangs, making it safer for everybody to walk the streets. They're not doing that. The evidence is out there. And all you have to do is look at it out on the streets, be out on the streets, go to protests and see what's actually happening on the streets. And this is my issue with people like this, with Carl in particular, and people like him on the internet. They don't go out to protest. They're not walking along with the Patriots and actually seeing these people in action, what it's really like out there. Like people have suggested in the chat, he's got this little bubble. He's in a little bubble, just like the lefties are. He's in his little right-wing bubble, And he doesn't really see what's really happening in the world. We do, because we're living it every day. That's my issue with people like this. People like Carl are just as detached from us as our politicians are in that respect. Lots of these right-wing commentators are. They just spend their day just going around in circles, talking about the same stuff over and over and over again, and nothing ever comes of it. Nothing ever comes of it. No, we're going to get into that in a bit. She's not saying that at all. I don't believe one word she says. I don't believe any of it. I'm not saying any of it. Everything that comes out of the Labour's mouth has been... So, they're just liars, aren't they? They have power. Yeah, totally agree. But last time Carl was out, when he was in the parliamentary candidate, and he was same as in Parliament. Yeah. Is Andrew Walker being talked about? I've talked about him in the past. That's another guy. He's another guy that is removed from the average person on the street, unfortunately. Right, we'll carry on. I'm having to do this for fair use because I'm not just going to play the whole video. We're going to have commentary on it. There's going to be lots of commentary in a bit, believe me.
Marching in protest in East Sussex over the plans to house 600 asylum seekers there. You'll recall the Green Party deputy and councillor saying, well, immigrants are welcome, just not in my constituency, and getting absolutely grilled, chewed out by some lady in the audience just talking about the issue. And so this is not an issue that's going to go away. In fact, it's going to get worse. It's going to cost people more money. And so Shabana Mahmood was like, yeah, actually,
Parmesan with no limits. Just how you like it.
I think it's going to have to happen. On Monday, I will announce the most significant changes to our asylum.
Right. Oh God, it's like he's buying into it. It's like he truly believes that the Labour Party are going to do this, that they're going to really tackle illegal immigration. They're not. They're not going to tackle it. And if you've seen the measures that she's bringing, they're laughable. Has everybody seen the measures that she's on about bringing in? She's talking about letting them stay in the country for 20 years before they can actually apply for asylum. Well, what's the point in that? There's literally no point in that whatsoever. No point at all. She says we're going to seize certain assets that they bring with them to help pay for their upkeep in the country. They don't bring anything with them. That's the whole point. They don't bring anything with them. So how is Labour taking this seriously? And I said this morning in the morning walk video. If they were really serious about stopping this, they wouldn't try and cure the symptoms. They would go for the cause. They would stop the boats completely. They would put a battleship in the channel and turn those boats back. If they were really serious about stopping illegal immigration, there's no point putting sanctions on people that are already here. You need to be turning people back and just get rid of all the benefits for all the illegals, and they'll leave of their own accord. They will leave of their own accord. Mass re-immigration, mass deportations. That is what's needed. And like I said at the beginning of the live stream, Carl is very much the person who still believes the system still works for the people. It doesn't. It hasn't worked for us for decades. We are not voting our way out of this. We're not. 3.5 years away for the next general election. Keir Starmer is going to cancel the key elections that could make a difference next May. He's going to cancel those. So we haven't got a political solution out of this for at least 3.5 years. And in that time, this country will be gone. Look at how fast it's gone downhill since Labour took power. Rapidly. Absolutely rapidly. Imagine what it's going to look like in 3 years' time. It's going to be unrecognisable. Yet people like Carl, oh, we still believe in the system. The system still works for us. It doesn't. It doesn't at all.
system in modern times. And man, these were better than I expected, frankly.
He's bought into it. He's bought into this Labour propaganda hook, line, and sinker. This is what I mean. Smart people that are dumb. You have to look at what they've done in the past and then judge what they're saying now and what they've done in the past. They're liars. They do things to cause distraction away from things. Maybe this is a distraction away from the fact that Keir Starmer's government is about to collapse. Maybe that's why they're doing this. Keir Starmer's in real trouble at the minute with his government. They're struggling a hell of a lot. And this is just the carrot on the stick to try and distract away from all the issues that their party has. That's what this is. And unfortunately, Carl doesn't seem to see that. His audience does. His audience, if you look at the comments down here, why is that woman in positions of power? Do not believe her. She's lying. They are lying. They always lie. Never trust what they say. They will say what you want to hear, then do what they want. Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. So why isn't Carl picking up on this? Why isn't he picking up on what his audience is quite obviously picking up on? What we're all picking up on. We can all see what they're doing, can't we? We all know what they're doing. And this isn't an attack on Carl Benjamin or Sargon of Akkad. This is me refuting the things that he's saying, because this is dangerous. Because he's got a huge following and people will hang on every word that he says. So, and when he says Labour are actually doing something about this, people will believe him. The thing is, Labour aren't doing anything about this. Labour is doing what it always does. It lies. It lies to distract and to give false hope to people. That's what they do. We can all see it.
The logic of anti-immigration truly has taken hold in the Labour Party. They have accepted.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. They're just telling you what you want to hear. That's what they're doing, Carl. They're telling you what they want to hear. Labour has not taken on board anti-immigration one little bit. Not at all. How you doing, mate? It's all right, Vin. We've had bad people who think we are getting a military coup. Of all things, yeah, that's never going to happen either. I've got something to say about that as well. A military coup. Oh, God. I'm not even going to go into that at the minute. I've got this to deal with, but I could say so much about that as well. Carl, go and ask the bank benches. You would exactly. To first-gen immigrants debating your future. Yeah, exactly. And apparently the Labour is now suddenly anti-immigration. Why? Why now? Why all of a sudden now? This is exactly what I said in my morning walk video this morning. What pressure has been put on the government for them to do this? The threat of reform? I don't think so. Protests? I don't think so. Why now? Why the sudden change of heart? The only reason can be, if you look at what's happening within government at the minute, it's just distraction. It's smoke and mirrors. It's to distract you away from what's really going on. It's that look at the minute the Labour Party is going, look over here, when really you should be looking in the opposite direction. That's what they're doing.
Accepted that actually millions and millions of people being flooded into the country is not a good thing, and Shabana has begun on the issue of mass immigration, of illegal immigration. But I want to be very clear, that is by far from being the worst of it. But we'll take a look at the change in attitude, because that's the most interesting thing. And I can't help but notice that there's a kind of sinister aspect to this video.
Right, there is no changing attitude within the Labour Party. There's no changing attitude at all. It's like what Steve just said. If you asked all the backbenchers what they thought about refugees, that they would say the illegal immigrants. They would say they're refugees. That they should be brought into the country. So there's no change of attitude within the Labour Party at all. One little bit. We all know what the Labour Party is made up of. It's made up of different factions, each baying for power from one another. But they don't agree on anything. So there is no changing attitude within the Labour Party at all. And somebody who's a political commentator like Carl should know that, should understand that. The Labour Party is not a cohesive unit. It is definitely not. Definitely not. He has the sussed the situation better than most on this side. They just don't get it. They don't get it. And it's because I don't want to like come down too hard on Carl, but it seems like he's in his own echo chamber too, his own political echo chamber too. Still believes in the system, still believes there's going to be a political solution out of this. There isn't. It's just going to get worse. And when that budget hits at the end of November, it's going to escalate things even further, more than he realizes. I don't think he realizes that the Labour Party has run out of our money. The only thing that they're using at the minute is just they keep printing it. They keep printing money. The IMF came out, what was it, months ago, saying you're getting close to needing a bailout, and we don't know if we can do it or not. The country is in real trouble, and yet Carl, like many others in this sort of circle, are putting their faith in an election that's 3.5 years away. That's a hell of a long time in politics. Anything could happen in that amount of time. Governments can fall in weeks. Economies collapse in hours. And we're 3.5 years away. It's unbelievable. It's such a bad take. It's such a bad take, this video. Really is.
I mean, the lighting is weird. Slightly.
I mean, why the hell are you going on about the lighting in the video? That's not even the most important part about the video. It's just pure propaganda. The video is pure propaganda from Shazam, Mamubu, Baloo, Baboo, Baboo. And he's talking about the lighting in the video.
From the camera slightly tilted below her face, like
what has this got to do with anything?
Lighting only from one side, the British flag slightly off in the background on the dark side. Like the whole thing is just kind of sinister, actually, which is weird. I wouldn't have presented my video announcing that we're going to just start deporting them rapidly like this.
She's not going to deport them rapidly. What are you talking about? They are not going to do that. They know that the European Court of Human Rights, those lefty lawyers, will stop them from doing it. There is no way that these people are going to deport rapidly illegal immigrants from this country. Not a chance in hell. It's not going to happen. Look at their one-in, one-out policy. The majority of them have already returned via the dinghies. It's already been reported that the person, the one that left a few weeks ago, has already returned via dinghy. These are not the people to mass deport illegal immigrants.
But she's been explaining herself how this is going to have to come about, and that this is just something inevitable. I mean, this.
Carl, she's lying. She's lying through her teeth. She's a politician. The Labour Party is full of liars. Keir Starmer is a pathological liar. Angela Rayner was a pathological liar. David Lammy is a pathological liar. Shaman Baboo 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 is a pathological liar. You cannot trust anything that these people say. Actions is what proves things with these people, not their words. And I'm sure some as intelligent of you should see that. You should judge them on their past actions, not their present actions. And I can't believe that you can't see through this. You were saying the UK already collapsed. Yep. They know which is why they're saying it, because they know it will be blocked by the lawyers. Exactly. They know they've got a get out of free jail card. That they can seem as hard as they like, and then when the courts step in, they can just blame it on the courts and say we tried. That's what they'll say. They have an intention of deporting anyone. They announce things and then talk about it again. Exactly. They've got no intentions of doing this. We all know it. We all know it, don't we?
This is what she said the other day on Sky.
I am the child of immigrants. My parents came to this country legally.
Listen to that. Listen to that, Carl. What did she just say? Her parents came to this country illegally. She's from an illegal immigrant family. Do you really think she's the sort of person that is going to deport illegal immigrants? Of course she isn't. Not at all. She's just telling you what you want to hear and you're believing her because you still believe in the system. You still think the system works. It doesn't. It doesn't work at all. Can't believe I'm hearing this. Yeah. It's just insane. Yeah, exactly. They're not integrating. Second generation immigrants are not integrating. And the big reason for that is because their parents never integrated. Their parents never integrated into our society. They embraced their own culture. They came here, they set up little colonies in our country. You only have to go to places like Bradford, Sheffield, Leicestershire, Birmingham to see what's happened. Why integrate into a society when you've got your own bubble of the country you came from? You don't need to integrate because you've created a little bubble of your own society you've just come from in this country. So why integrate? There's no need to. And unfortunately, Carl doesn't understand that.
In the late 60s and the early 70s. This is a moral mission for me. I can see that illegal migration is creating division across our country. I can see that it is polarizing communities across the country. I can see that it is dividing people and making them estranged from one another. I don't want to stand back and watch that happen in my country. What is happening with...
Right, so in my opinion then, what I would be saying is stop the boats. Stop the boats. Stop it dead in its tracks. Ask the Prime Minister to deploy the Navy to the English Channel and turn back the boats. That's how you stop it. You don't have to fight it from within the country. You can fight it before it even gets to these shores. You can give an ultimatum to the French government and say, you take these people back or we're going to put sanctions on you. You get tough. But that's not what the Labour Party is going to do. They're not going to do any of this. She, like I said, she is just telling people what they want to hear. And the thing is, like people have said in the chat, like people have said in Carl Benjamin's video comments, do not believe them. They are lying. We know they're lying. We've got a proven track record of these people lying. So why should we believe anything they say now? We shouldn't, should we? If you prove somebody to be a liar and you trust them after the fact that you've proven them to be a liar, then the fault is with you. Because you should never trust that person again if they've lied to you. 100%. Because you simply can't trust them from that point onwards. Doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. Just looking at the chat. Exactly. Words are cheap. Actions speak louder than words. We all know that. That's the face. Yeah, kids. She has a freakish look about her, evil or something. Yeah, she doesn't. Don't forget, this is the woman, right, who went to Greece and was welcoming the immigrants off the boats, the illegal immigrants off the boats. Do you really think she's had that massive change of heart since? This is the same person that was at a pro-Palestine march. She's radical. She's a radical, and radicals lie. And unfortunately, there are people within the right wing, I would say centre-right, that believe everything they say. Because Carl is the sort of person that is willing to compromise with these sort of people, which you should never do. You can't compromise with these people. You just call them liars and you walk away from the table. That's what you do. Hello, how are you doing? How are you doing, chat? I forgot to say hello to the chat. How are you all doing? Hope you're all doing well, by the way. But I just really wanted to get into this. So how long is the video? The video was 14 minutes long. So we're going to go through it all, I think.
With our illegal migration system is this is a broken system. It's not right-wing talking points or fake news or misinformation that is suggesting that we've got a problem. I know because I have now seen this system inside out. It is a broken system. We have a genuine problem to fix. People are...
Right, so what's the first thing you do if you know that your immigration system is broken? What do you do? What's the first thing you do? What's the first thing I would do? First thing I would do is shut down the borders. Shut down the borders and fix the immigration system. Don't allow anybody else in. If you know you've got holes in your system and it's broken, then you shouldn't use it. You close down the system, you fix the holes, then you reopen it. Exactly. You close the borders. That's the first thing you do. You close the borders. It's just common sense stuff, isn't it? It's just proper common sense stuff with this sort of thing. And unfortunately, Carl's all doughy-eyed here because he's centre-right and he's like, oh, I can actually compromise with this, not realising that she's got no intention of compromising. She's just telling him what he wants to hear so that he backs off a little bit and they can carry on doing what they're doing in the meantime. Nothing will ever come of this. I'll repeat what I said earlier on in the stream, that one of the things to come in, the new things to come in about illegal immigration is that they're not going to be able to claim asylum, not asylum, what is it? They're not going to be able to claim citizenship for 20 years. They're not going to be able to claim the right to stay for 20 years. Well, what's the point in that? That doesn't make any sense. Then she said that she's going to implement a confiscation policy where items are confiscated off them, like jewelry, but not wedding rings, apparently. Jewelry, but not wedding rings, to pay for their upkeep in the country, to sell. And it's like, these people don't come with anything. They chuck everything into the sea. They literally turn up with nothing on. So what assets are you going to get from them? It's just smoke and mirrors. Complete smoke and mirrors. Just to, you know, they say bullshit baffles brains. Well, that's exactly what she's doing to Carl. She's baffling him with bullshit. And he's falling for it.
Angry about something that is real. It is my job, therefore, to think of a proper solution to this very real problem.
Right, the solution's simple. It's staring you right in the face. Close down the borders, turn back the boats. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to alter the length of time people have to stay. You just shut the borders, you turn back the boats, and then you just start mass deporting the people that have come out of the hotels. You get rid of them. That's what you do. They're your solutions. You stop the incentives, you stop the benefits, you stop the 4-star hotels, you stop all the luxuries like phones, laptops, stuff like that. You stop all of that. You stop them from coming in the first place. And then it's just a case of getting rid of the people that are already here illegally, that should just be deported immediately. But this person will do none of that. She won't do any of that.
to do so in line with my values as a Labour politician, but also as a British citizen, and to have solutions.
Notice in that what she says first. Notice what she says first.
A proper solution to this very real problem, to do so in line with my values as a Labour politician.
Right, to do so as a values of a Labour politician. She says that first, and then she says this.
But also as a British citizen, and to have solutions that work.
So basically she's saying there that her position as a Labour MP comes before her duty to protect the people of this country. That's what she's saying in that sentence there. And Carl's looking like this, thinking, yeah, I agree with all this. But he's not actually picking up on what she's saying. He's not analysing what she's saying. Solving the issues doesn't suit the government agenda. No, it doesn't. I mean, Carl believes that this is just an incompetent government that's in power. We all know it's not incompetence. We know this is by design. This is by design. That there is no government that could be this incompetent. There isn't. This is deliberate. We know it's deliberate. But unfortunately, people like Carl are still buying into this thing that the system still works, and that this is just an incompetent government. That's how he thinks. I will come and look at the chat in a bit, I promise.
That I can unite a divided country. That
Shabana Mahmood, the right is correct about the illegal immigrants. That is remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, but don't you think she's just telling you what you want to hear, Carl? Don't you think that's the crux of what she's saying here? She's just telling people what they want to hear to get a bit of heat off her back, because she's under so much pressure to actually do something. And her way of doing something is just to talk. None of this will come to volition. None of this. She won't do what needs to be done, which is obviously shut the borders, turn back the boats, deport all the illegal immigrants. She won't do that. That is what is needed.
Nice to be vindicated. Another day ending in Y where we're correct and everyone else is wrong, but it is nice to hear it. But the thing is, I mean, one might ask, well, who set up the broken system?
Well, that's on. We'll look at the chat. So, did you notice how he said broken system? So, he admits it's broken. Exactly, Steve. Exactly. Anyone that says incompetence is a liar and probably a sympathizer. Exactly. It's not incompetence. This is by design. You simply don't get people this incompetent. You don't. Trying to dampen right down. They worried of organised. Right, exactly. See, we can all see through it. We can all see through their tactics of why they're doing this. Carl, unfortunately, because he's of the position that he wants to be negotiate with these people. He wants to come to a conclusion. Like, well, back on. There, pause it. He's under the impression that he can negotiate with somebody like that and come to some kind of consensus when you can't. You cannot negotiate with people like her. She's an extremist. She will tell him lies to try and appease him, to hold him off, and then just do exactly what she wants to do. And before he realizes what's actually happening, it's too late. That's what they're doing. Right, let's carry on.
They've been forced to accept that the system itself is the problem, and that
they've accepted nothing. They've accepted nothing. At this point, everybody knows the illegal immigration system, the situation with illegal immigrants, the immigration system. We all know it's broken. So they're not really revealing anything we don't already know, are they? And them admitting it doesn't mean anything to us, because we already know it anyway. It's not a great shocker that our immigration system is broken. and that these people aren't doing anything about our borders. Our border system is broken as well. That's not a massive revelation. We know that already. Them saying it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't. I'm just reading the chat a bit. Sorry, guys. Yeah, exactly. There you go. What's the total number of the grape scandal? If that's true, yeah. I'll tell you something. It is very, very light. I'm not making anything at all at the minute, which shows you how good it is. Then this is how the world always was. Yeah, it was. I agree with you. Totally agree with you.
It is incentivizing people to cross, and the fact that we're just picking them up and bringing them over and then giving them money, as Macron pointed out, is acting like a lodestone that is drawing them to us, and we really have to stop it. And so she's declared that she's going to. And so we've got some quite interesting actual results from what she's announced. She's basically going to take on the Denmark policy. The first one is the indefinite leave to remain. So indefinite leave to remain, if someone stays for 5 years, we say, well, you can just stay for some reason. No idea why. And Mahmoud has said those arriving legally will face 20 years wait before they can apply for a permanent settlement. Why would we let them stay? Like, it's
So I agree with him. He is actually questioning that. That's good. He's questioning that.
It's actually kind of mad. I mean, this is the most tepid response to the immigration problem, especially the illegal immigration problem. But at least it's a response. At least it starts as the ship of.
See, this is what I don't understand with Carl, because at the beginning he's like singing her praises, saying, "Look, they're going to do something," and then he's saying, "Oh, it's a tepid response." It's like you're getting mixed messages in the video. It's like, first off, you're praising them because you're saying they've accepted that anti-immigration needs to happen, and then you're saying it's a tepid response. It's mixed messages. Hey Harry, how you doing? Not talking about a thing. These big channels make money off all their advertising and Patreon, etc. Yeah, exactly. And this is what me and Tom were talking about. Some people don't want solutions to these problems, because if these problems got solved suddenly overnight, they haven't got a business model anymore, have they? I'm just saying. I'm not accusing Carl of anything. I'm just stating the fact that some of these big YouTubers, if overnight suddenly these solutions got rectified, their business model wouldn't exist anymore, would it? I'm just saying.
The state is now glacially turning into the right direction. Oh no, we have to stop paying for these people to fucking live here at our expense and leave them roaming free. No, we have to put restrictions on them. We have to start putting.
They're not going to, though, Carl. All this is smoke and mirrors. She's not going to do any of it. He's really bought into the propaganda that he really thinks she's going to do this. She's not.
Slight disincentives in their way, so they might think about.
They don't give a toss about any of this. They really don't. They really think illegal immigrants give a toss about any of this, because they know themselves the system's working for them. They've been coached and versed in the law, in human rights laws, by the NGOs before they even get here. They know exactly what to say. They know exactly how to play the system. So anything that Mahmoud would actually try would just be stopped. I bet half of this would be stopped by the European Court of Human Rights, because they said it will be against their human rights. If she tries to confiscate their jewelry, they will just take it up with the European Court of Human Rights and say, no, you can't do that. That's against the human rights. All of this is just going to get chucked in the bin, and she knows it. by the European Court of Human Rights. That's why she's saying it. It's safe to say it because she knows it'll never happen. Wait to put up video if it means someone put things like that together in their spare time. Hi, Steve. Hello, how you doing? They're currently using the slave argument in our latest trend to staying out yet. They don't bring anything with them, Dave. They don't bring anything in with them. That's the point. It's like they literally chuck everything. Anything that could possibly identify them, even jewelry. Jewelry could identify them. They chuck it away. They dump it in the sea. They don't bring anything with them. If you've seen Danny Tomos and Liam from Raise the Flags, they literally dump everything on the beach before they get in the dinghy. That's what they do. They drop their paperwork, their IDs, their wallets, everything, because they know they're going to get everything for free when they get here anyway. So they don't need money. They don't need identification. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like, it's not going to happen.
Going home, because that's actually what people want from them. And so this is actually great for Nigel Farage, because I don't think really there's anything the Labour government are going to be able to do to actually save their party and get elected again next time. I think they know it. I think that the goodwill obviously evaporated.
Well, let's see. If that's the case, then Keir Starmer's most likely going to fix the next general election because he's remarkably confident for a man with an approval rating that's through the ground, that is non-existent. He's remarkably confident. And I think in the next general election, I think the Labour Party is going to pull a America 2016 type fraud. I think that's what they're going to do. And that's how Keir Starmer is so confident that he's going to get 10 years in power. He's already had 5, he'll get another 5. So that's 10 years in power that he'll have. He's so confident about it. Why is he so confident? These are all questions you need to ask.
Almost instantly because of Keir Starmer's response to Southport, but also the sort of bond of trust and expectation.
I think public trust in the Labour Party isn't just Southport. I think it's a whole host of things. I mean, they've been diabolical in government. You can't just say it's Southport that lost them the public trust. It's that was probably the catalyst, and nobody wanted them in power anyway. Don't forget that it was a low turnout at the general election. Nobody wanted Labour in power. Nobody. It was a tiny minority that voted them in. They got in by the skin of their teeth by default because the Tory vote collapsed completely. That's how they got into power. They were despised before they even got into power. They really didn't have the public trust. They had no mandate before they got into power. So to say that Southport was the beginning of it, probably the catalyst, but they were hated before that. Nobody wanted these people in power. They've lost the public trust a long time ago.
It does, like I said, it doesn't matter what they do from this point onwards. Everyone looks at them as kind of a polluted party, a party that is part of the problem, frankly.
So how can you trust them, Carl? If they're a polluted party, they're corrupt, they're liars, how can you trust Mahmood to do anything that to do any of this of what she said? You can't, can you? You've answered your own question within your own video. It's a mixed message all the way through this video. You start off by saying, well, look, Labour's taken on board anti-immigration, when the reality is, no, they haven't. They're just telling you what you want to hear. And then the next breath is saying, well, it's a bit of a cold, tepid response to illegal immigration and immigration. So kind of changing the tone of the video again. And it just seems like you're not getting it all the way through this video. Yeah, nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted Labour in power. None of them. Civic nationalism is a stepping stone. Yes. Yeah, exactly. You've only got to look at what he's doing there to realise what's going on. It's not an incompetence from the government. It's by design. We haven't put a party worth voting for. Yeah, we haven't really. There literally isn't, is there? Let's carry on.
So even if they start fixing problems, they're still going to be part of the problem. And so I don't think this is going to get them into office. I think Farage is probably still going to walk it. Something quite dramatic would have to happen in the next 3-4 years for Farage not to win at this point. But what...
Again, it's like there is no political solution to this call. You're putting all your faith, all your eggs in one basket in a political solution. Things are only going to get worse with these people in power. And we're a long way off from a general election. And temperature is boiling in this country. It's absolutely boiling over. And you don't understand it because you're not on the street. You don't go out in the protest. You don't see the mood of the people on the street. I do. I've been to a few protests now. I've seen the mood of the people. They're not happy. They're not happy people at all. And they're just the tip of the iceberg, because for every single person that goes out to protest, you can guarantee there's at least 10 that are too afraid to go out and protest, but feel exactly the same way as those people on the protest. The mood of the country is at boiling point. I would say over boiling at this point as well. It's gone into, like, since winter started, it's gone into like a little simmer. It's still bubbling under the surface. But if we have a hot summer next year, it's going to boil over again, because people are going to start to get hit by these new things that Rachel from Accounts is bringing in the budget. That's going to hit people hard again. People are going to lose their homes. People are going to lose their businesses. And that is going to be a tipping point. And you think that an election 3.5 years away is a solution. You're delusional. Absolutely delusional on that. Sorry, but you are. I've got to say how it is. You're delusional. I think a lot of you right-wing commentators are delusional, putting your faith in an election that's 3.5 years away, given the fact that the Labour Party's on a one-track ride to absolutely destroy and decimate this country with everything they do. Do you really think we've got 3 years when, I keep saying this, it will only take another mass killing of innocent children or people for this country to just absolutely erupt? So no, we don't have 3 years. We don't have 6 months, in my opinion. Well, there you go. This be. And try cancelling the May election just as the climate temperature starts rising. Exactly. It's going to boil over. None of the new parties will be. None of the new parties will be ready in 3 years. That's my point. Everybody's putting their faith in reform. I don't think they're going to win as big as they thought they did. They thought they were going to win big in Wales. And what happened there? They didn't. Reform's got its own issues with leadership. Leadership is the problem there. And they need to sort that out. They need to get rid of the leadership at the top, but they can't get rid of the leadership because it's not a democratic party. They've taken on too many of the people that have destroyed the system from the broken system. They've taken on ex-Tories. They've taken on Liberal Democrats. They've taken on Labour candidates. They've diluted the party down. The Reform Party was supposed to be a party for the people, a party that would put people like me and you into the House of Parliament. Instead, what have they done? They started recruiting from the very crop of people that have helped destroy this country over the last few decades. And I know a lot of you probably see reform as the answer to our problems. But again, it's a political solution. It's 3.5 years away. They're not the solution. I really wish we did have a solution, but we don't. I've lost all faith. I'm politically homeless. That's why I don't talk about party politics that much, because it goes tribalistic and it gets lost in the tribalism of trying to talk about it. Everybody starts talking about which party's best, and it's irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant, because not one of them is going to be ready in time in 3.5 years' time. They're not. That's the honest truth. And to say any different is being delusional. It really is. And like I said, I don't think we're gonna be here in 3.5 years unless something radical is done. I really don't. I don't think we've got 3.5 years. I know it's hard to hear, but yeah, that's the
What
reality.
this does is allows Farage to be a continuity candidate rather than imposing or introducing some kind of radical measures that would be like, oh God, this is untested. This is radical right-wing Nigel Farage. Oh my gosh. No, Farage can actually say, no, I'm just picking up where the Labour Party left off. I'm just going to take the things that they were doing and intensify them.
What is he talking about? He honestly believes that the Labour Party is going to implement these things, doesn't he? He honestly believes that. That's amazing. That is truly amazing to me, that he can't see through the Labour Party for what they are. He thinks they truly have this intention to tackle illegal immigration. They don't. They've got a proven track record of lying about these things, about lying about everything. They've been caught out in so many lies. They're a corrupt, evil regime. I just can't believe I'm hearing this. It's just amazing to me. It really is. It's amazing. I said I was politically homeless, and the girl whose content I was commenting on said she would design a rosette for my new radical party. Nice one, Steve. Obviously, I've got to play this, so we're going to play this advert. I'm going to mute it. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think to Carl Benjamin's take on this so far? I want to get your honest opinions. Do you agree with him? Because I'm shocked.
We can just 20 years. Why not just get rid of it? I'd say if you come here illegally, you will never get a permanent settlement. And if we catch you, we're going to deport you. So you may as well just go home now, because the idea of us being a soft touch has moved on. And people agree with this, by the way. People just completely agree with this. Obviously, people are like, yeah, I mean, we should take refugees, like genuine refugees. I mean, literally, if they're found to be genuine refugees, they should generally only be allowed to stay in the UK until their home country is.
See, I disagree with that. I think we just need to close our borders completely to everybody. We shouldn't be taking any refugees in. We're full. We don't have the ability to take them in. We are full. We have a housing crisis. We have an infrastructure crisis. We have a healthcare crisis in this country. We need to be deporting, not importing at the minute. Immigrants and illegal immigrants. They should all be being kicked out. Anybody here on a visa, out you go. Bye-bye. We've got issues. That's what should be happening.
Considered safe, then sent back. 51% of people agree with that. 43% of Labour.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who agrees with it. The only thing that matters is not a poll. A poll counts for nothing. The only thing that matters is if this thing is actually implemented, and it will never be implemented. We all know that. Yeah, I agree. He does, definitely, because this is a really bad take. I think Carl needs to think about his position before doing this kind of video. And he could change his position. He definitely could change his position. He's done it before. But I think he's shooting from the hip at this one. This is like a knee-jerk reaction video to what's been said. And I don't really think he's had time to actually think and, process it. Exactly. Zero intake. I've said this for at least, I know some people have said 5 years. Some people have said 10 years. I say 20 years, maybe even more. That's what needs to happen. Really needs to happen. If you don't vote, don't moan about it. The thing is, right, I did vote. And what I'm saying is that I'm not telling people not to vote in 2029. What I'm trying to say is that it'll be too late before then. It won't matter if you vote in 2029. The country will be gone. That's a fact. Right, let's carry on.
47% of Lib Dems, obviously 71% of Conservative and Reform. So most people agree with that. That is a normal position. Only 29% are like, well, they should be allowed to settle permanently in the UK, as if we are a hostel for all of the peoples of the world who don't like their own countries. And you see 20% are like neither or don't know. So overwhelmingly, the public want these people to be sent home. Like, we're happy to look after you.
Yeah, so basically, this is just Carl saying water is wet. We know this already. This is not revolutionary. This is not something, a revelation or anything like that. We already know this.
While your country is like in civil war or whatever. Although, just to be clear, the most common applicants from around the world are people from like Pakistan, where there's no danger there. You're not in any danger living in your native land. You're just taking advantage of the system because you're a grifter. But she says that she wants to make it so that people who are refugees are coming here legally. Now, as she said in the previous one, I'm a child of immigrants. She will never address.
No, she's a child of illegal immigrants, Carl. She said that herself.
It's the real issue, which is just the raw numbers of people coming here, and most of those, by something like a fact.
Yeah, so if you've got a problem with the raw numbers that are coming in, why the hell would you even want refugees to come in? You'd stop all forms of immigration just so our country can recover, so we can actually deport these people that shouldn't be here and then start fixing our infrastructure and looking after our own people for a change. Why would you even want refugees to come to this country? We're full. There's nothing wrong with saying we can't cope. We can't cope anymore. Our own people are suffering. They're not getting the dedication from the government that they need to have regarding funds and help because we're taking in far too many people. There's nothing wrong with saying that. And then shutting down the borders and saying, we're shutting our borders until our country is fixed. If Hungary can do it, they're still part of the EU, by the way. If Hungary can do it, if Poland can do it, then we can do it.
Factor of 10 to 1 are coming legally. Like the government is just letting in. They reduced it to 500,000 net, which will be revised upwards, by the way. What happens with the immigration?
Let's check on the chat a bit. Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. It's all bullshit. Poland not even doing this. No, they're not. They've shut their borders. They said, nope, we're not taking any of these people in. We're not taking anybody in, including refugees. So why aren't we doing it? And let's not forget, right, if we had strong leadership, Poland and Hungary ignore the European Court of Human Rights. The EU itself ignores the European Court of Human Rights if it doesn't fit in with their agenda. So we could just ignore them. It's an excuse. The European Court is an excuse to do what they're doing. They're saying, oh, we can't do this because of the European Court of Human Rights. No, you can just ignore them. You can just ignore them and say, no. This isn't good for our country. We're ignoring you. Just like Poland and Hungary have done. He is. Totally correct. Strong leadership that looks after their own citizens. That's what we need. Strength. And that's the issue. We don't have strength. We don't have strong leadership. We have puppet leaders. Puppet leaders controlled by the globalists at Davos, the World Economic Forum, That's why the country is in the state that it's in. They're under instructions to run this country into the ground so they can implement their agenda. They're not, by the way, they're not secretive about any of this. The World Economic Forum, they've said exactly what they want to happen. So yeah, it's just absolute bollocks, all of this.
Figures. They pitch it as low as they can and then quietly revise these figures up 6 months later. So those figures are going to be revised upwards. But let's assume it's just 500,000. That's way more than anything that happened in the Blair era. Way more. And it will continue to be way more until we get a government that is actually serious about just putting an end to this experiment of mass immigration. Like, why should it be done? I mean, because like 500,000 net, that's
right. Nobody in Parliament, not even Reform, are going to do that. None of them are going to do that. They're just going to continue on the same track. That's what's going to happen.
So, that's better than it was. But there's still 1 million people being let in every year. It's still like 1.1 million people they're letting in. That's an insane number. That's a city the size of Birmingham that's being let in every year. And we wonder why the country's falling apart. We wonder why everything costs too much. We wonder why the infrastructure is just dilapidated. The roads are packed. You can't get a job. The houses cost too much. It's too much madness. It's just too much madness. If the problems we have were solved by people.
How many adverts are in this video? Fucking hell. Finn and Leeds. Yeah, and Leeds. I honestly don't think they're going to deliver. I really don't think they're going to deliver. I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed in the Reform Party. I think the Reform Party is like Shazam Mahmood, just telling people what they want to hear. I mean, Richard Tice gave a really bad take when he was asked a question today. You know, the Reform Party really should learn by now not to let Richard Tice be interviewed by anybody because he always gives a bad take. He was asked if Shazam Mahmood would ever be allowed to join the Reform Party. And he said, oh, yes, of course you can, as long as he goes through the same process as everybody else. The guy's an absolute lunatic. He should be saying, no, people like her are definitely not welcome within the party because she's an absolute rabid lefty, activist, extremist. The man's... Oh, don't get me started on them, please. Right. Watch this advert. I'll skip that, yeah. Skip it.
Into the country, then we should have no problems whatsoever. But of course, we have more problems than ever. Because, and where's the GDP? Like, they never talk about it. Like, in the last quarter, we grew like 0.1%.
Yeah, I think GDP is the least of our worries at the minute. It's the least of our worries, isn't it?
But we added 0.2% to the population. It's obviously not correlating. That just bringing people into your country makes you money. That's not the case. So it's fine.
Yeah, literally, none of these people are economically active. They're all going on benefits.
That is by far the smaller part of the problem. And honestly,
so none of them are actually adding to the GDP of this country. Look at how many of them are actually on benefits. A good majority of them are on benefits. They're sucking this country dry on benefits. And what they're doing is they're working here illegally. Then that money they're earning here illegally, they're sending back to their own country. So it doesn't stay in the country either. So all that wealth they could possibly create isn't staying in the country. It's going back to their families that are living in perfectly safe countries because they're economic migrants, not refugees. That's what's happening. I think a lot of us do see it. We do see the bigger picture. Yeah. Everybody sees it. Everybody sees it. It's not going to change. Yeah, exactly. They spend it back. They send it back when they're working illegally as well. Yeah, they do. The core GDP calculation is used to inflate the GDP by having a higher population. Right, okay. So basically they're just fudging the numbers. They're artificially inflating the population to make the country look more economically sound when really it isn't. I get you. We probably get more, yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm worried that this turns into a form of containment, as in, oh, well, we stop the illegals, therefore the immigration problem's over. No, because I mean, the British public do not understand immigration. Frankly, they think that the majority of the immigrants they see around them are illegals. No, you almost never see an illegal.
Now, I think you'll probably find, Carl, a lot of people do understand the immigration system. Lots of us realise that the immigration system itself is broken. They open the floodgates. And there was a graph the other day. I'll have to try and get it up. Let's see if I think I've actually stopped sharing for a minute. Stop sharing. Right. I saw a graph of when the floodgates were actually opened, and it will shock you. Get on. Let's see if it's in here somewhere. I think I actually liked it. Did I? Is it on here, please? Yeah, it's here. Right. So we'll have a look at this, and this is from Angry Bootneck. So get here. Right, you can actually see when they open the floodgates on immigration. And it'll shock you when it actually happened, because a lot of people think 1997. Oh no. Yeah, it went up, but not as much as when this happened. So we'll share the screen. Right, so as you can see, Angry Bootneck says this: the numbers prove what I always said. British MPs collapsed the borders after Brexit on purpose to punish you for leaving. This cannot be allowed to stand. Their treachery knows no bounds. We must resolve not to rejoin, but to enact retribution. So here you go. Right, we'll click on it. We'll have a better look at it if we can. There we go. See if we can see that on the stream. Yeah, there we go. Right, so there you go. It went up, but not as high as after Brexit. Interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. So you can see Brexit there. All of a sudden, woof, up it goes. Up goes immigration to the highest levels ever. Very revealing, isn't it? What our political class did to this country on purpose. Punishment for leaving the EU. Right, we'll just flood the country with dangerous people. Yeah. There you go. Immigration through the roof. They just flung open the floodgates. It's a bit like what Angela Merkel did to Germany. Open the borders. Completely open the borders. Let everybody in. Flood it. And there you go. That's what they did. Stop sharing that. We'll go back to...
illegal. All of the people that you see around you in your local area that are like, where have all these foreigners come from? The government let in instead of keeping them out. They let them in legally. There was no breaking in the law there. The government allowed that to happen. Anyway, so you've got the left generally, you know, is it?
Yeah, well, I would say with that was treason. There was breaking of the law, it was treason. They flood the country with illegal immigrants. That's treason, in my opinion. That's what that is, isn't it?
There are so many examples of this where they're freaking out because of the language she's using. She said, we're not handing out golden tickets and handouts, and she's got a moral mission to end illegal immigration. And so you can imagine that the response from, say, Rupert Lowe or Tommy Robinson has been very favorable, and that's made them all freak out. Well, hang on a second. Why is Rupert Lowe and Tommy Robinson endorsing Shabana Mahmood?
Yeah, why are they endorsing her? Why aren't they seeing through the smoke and mirrors as well? These are also questions that you've got to ask. Why isn't Tommy Robinson coming out and saying, this is absolute bollocks? Don't believe a word she is saying. Why is he endorsing her? Why is Rupert Lowe praising her? They're not unintelligent people. You're not telling me they can't see through this for what it is. So why are they endorsing her? These are all questions you need to ask. They really are. You've got to ask yourself a question. If we can all see through it, if we can all see through what Shazam Baboo is saying, then why are prominent figures within our movement also not seeing it? We're not more intelligent than them. They can see it for themselves as well. They must know that what they're saying is complete and utter bollocks. So why are they endorsing it? Ask yourself that question.
And her anti-illegal immigration policy. I mean, the answer is, as she gave, because this isn't actually a left-right issue. This is actually, it's not just right-wing talking points. These are real things that need to be fixed, which is true. But the thing is, the left doesn't see these as a problem.
Yet again, water is wet. It's all she's saying is water is wet.
They don't see these as problems, so they don't want them fixed. And remember, the public generally view Labour as a pro-immigration party. As you can see, 47% of the people when asked.
I mean, what would give people the impression that Labour are a pro-immigration party? Could it be that Shazam Mahmood was actually on, the island of Greece, welcoming illegal immigrants ashore when they were making landfall? Could that kind of be a thing? Could it be the fact that we have prominent Labour councillors and Labour MPs standing with activists shouting, refugees are welcome here? Could that be an indication that they're pro-immigration? Just saying.
Said, yeah, they're either very or fairly pro-immigration. It's like, obviously, they open the borders to rub diversity in the right's face. So obviously people see them as pro-immigration. Only 29% think they're vaguely or very anti-immigration, and 24% apparently don't know because they're retarded. Anyway, like I said, she's decided that she's going to have the Denmark policy, but a bit more firm. And one of these things that sees jewelry and assets to pay for accommodation. You can see what this is about. This isn't about, and again, it is.
How many adverts are in this actual video? It's insane. I'm not going to get into the whole Tommy thing, but I've got to say recently my faith in the guy has been shaken a little bit. I've got to admit it has. Now, he's been through a lot, and the guy is a hero. But my faith in him has been shaken a little bit recently. Exactly. This is exactly the thing. Everybody's doing the same thing. They're all sat on their arses, waiting for this mystical being to come out of the mist and save them from the current situation, when the person is staring them right in the mirror every morning. They don't realize it because they've been lied to for so long and told that they have no power, when the opposite is true. They have all the power. They can make a difference. People within this movement have already proven that. They've gone out and they've proven that one person can make a difference if you have the willing and the backbone to go and do it. You can make a difference. I've been going through. All right. Let's play this out. Let's mute this advert. Play it. And skip. All right.
Labour are definitely the party of migrants and immigration, which is why we've had all of these problems, by the way. They brought in the laws and the rules and the norms and the institutions to be pro-migrant. And now they're finding they can't pay for it. But you can see this is all a part of the budget. This is all because they just can't afford this anymore. And they need to start cutting costs. And so fair enough. I mean, seize their assets. That'll teach them.
Yeah, but again, what assets? What assets are they going to seize? They literally come into the country with nothing. So again, it's just an empty gesture, isn't it? It's not like it's actually going to happen, is it?
If you break into Britain, they'll catch you halfway across the channel and strip you of everything you've got.
What they're going to strip them of? What are they going to strip them of? They ditch their ID, they ditch their wallets, they ditch any money, they ditch any valuables, because they know when they come to this country, they're going to get everything given to them. There's no need to bring assets to this country.
Well, I think that might deter me. I don't know about you. And she's, of course, planning to deport families under the asylum crackdown. No, get out.
Yeah, none of this is going to happen. I'm going to end it there because I can't listen to it anymore. It's doing my head in. Right. So none of this is going to happen. None of that is going to happen because the European Court of Human Rights is going to stop all of that in its tracks. They're not going to allow her to deport families. They are not going to allow her to seize assets of these people. These would all be classed as breaches of their human rights. We know what's coming. We can predict this. And this is exactly why she's saying it. She's saying it because she knows herself none of this is ever going to happen. A leopard doesn't change its spots. Shazam Mahmood is a political activist. She's an extremist. She's on the front lines with the pro-Hamas protests. She was in Greece welcoming illegal immigrants off the boats ashore. A leopard doesn't change its spots. She's just telling people like Carl, centre-right negotiators, what they want to hear to keep them off her back for a little bit. And then she'll just carry on doing what she's doing and blame all her failings on the European Court of Human Rights and, left-wing human rights lawyers. That's who she's going to blame for all of this. It won't happen. Do you really think that Labour is going to deport all these people? Do you really think they're going to be tougher on immigration? It's not going to happen. No one got the balls to deport anyone. Exactly. They haven't. I agree with you on that one, mate. No, they're not going to deport them. It's not going to happen. Think about what's going to happen. And this is the reason why they will never deport anybody. It's because as soon as they start deporting these people, the certain demographic within our society will kick off. They know this, we know that. Trying to deport these people could inadvertently trigger a civil war anyway. We know it's going to happen. The minute you start deporting them, it's going to kick off. Look what happened in America when they started trying to deport the illegals over there. Antifa stepped up. The left wing stepped up. The Islamists stepped up. When the 4% realise they're trapped, never going to happen, mate. They're not going to do it. They will never deport anybody. It's not going to happen. All these mass deportations that they're promising, it's not going to happen. You do know the biblical quote, isn't Ethiopian can't change his skin, or a leopard can change His spots. Are you implying something about our home secretary? Nope. Not at all. Exactly. The only time we can deport is if we start controlling the likes of Birmingham, Bradford, and Bristol. Yeah, you're gonna absolutely need to put martial law on those places in order to deport these people, because the minute you do, those places are going to kick off big time. Yep, they're building homes from up here as well. When we got made homeless at the beginning of the year, we put in bids on new builds. We were rejected. We then found out that these new builds were for the new arrivals in our country. We couldn't bid on them. The only way to make it uncomfortable is for them to remain. Yep. Well, you said it, not me, but that's the track and path we're on, mate. And it's not just me saying it. This is professors, people that have studied war, that have studied countries that have been on the path to war for a long time, and they're saying this. What you're saying right now, I can't say it for obvious reasons, but you're not wrong. Yep, very true. Right, guys, I want to thank you all for coming along and having a look at this video today. I'm not going through all of it because it's just the same stuff. It's just the same stuff. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I had to get this out of my system. I really did. I couldn't just let this one slide. It was just a really bad take. And I hope that Carl mulls over what he said here and realizes that this is, it's a bad take on the situation. You can't trust the Labour Party. You can't trust them on anything that they say. Everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. And that's the truth. Everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. And you cannot trust them. I think that's a given, isn't it? Any of the political class, you can't trust them because at the end of the day, they're politicians. It's that simple. Actions speak louder than words. Until we actually start seeing them implementing these things and deporting people, then it's just words, isn't it? And for me, Shazam Mahmood, it's just empty words because she knows it'll never come, it'll never happen because the European Court of Human Rights will stop her and then she can blame it on them and say, we tried, but we got stopped. That's what they're going to do. So yeah, this is Vindicator. Sign off. Have a good evening, everybody, and I shall see you all soon. Take care of yourselves. This is Vindicator. Signing off.